Stovetop Pear Cobbler, William Hovey Smith, 2020. This is Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman, and we are again in pears. Last week I showed you how to do a pear cobbler in the oven. This week we're going to take our hard southern canning pears and we're going to make more cobbler on top of a stove. But first we're going to peel some pears. At this stage, now the 5th of October, our pears have continued to grow in size. We haven't had frost yet or anything even remotely close to it. And they're now fairly soft. Earlier in the season, like in August, when actually the first of them fell in a storm, yeah, these were very hard to peel indeed. But nowadays, now they're much softer than they were. Now as soon as they're peeled, they're going in water so they don't oxidize. If you leave them exposed, they'll turn brown like that. So you peel them, cut any little blemishes off, and slice them and drop them in a pan of water. And here we have a pot full of pears ready for boiling, and this will take approximately an hour. Many people are intimidated by making pie crust. Well, this is a pretty free-form pie crust. I've got about half a 5-pound bag of flour in here, which is much too much flour for the 2 pies I'm going to make, but the excess, once cooked, will be saved and used to make more fruit pies, not only pear but apple or pineapple or any other sort. So just to make it simple, we have a stick of Crisco here, and this is a cup. Okay, 1 cup Crisco. We have a half a teaspoon of salt in here. Don't forget the salt, it makes a difference. These are medium eggs. I'm going to use 3. All right. And we need liquid. I use skim milk. You could use buttermilk or full milk or any other kind of milk. And proceed to get a hand in there and mix. We're going to continue working with this and then get it into a ball and flour and roll it out on this shape. At this stage, we want the pears, which have of course been boiled in water and contain excess water, to lose a bunch of that water. So we're going to pour the water off. Now, that's hot, near boiling water, and I'm going to utilize it to make tea. And this is 3 green tea bags. So we're going to put that in our boiler and proceed to pour out the pears. In our favorite bowl, we're going to put a stick and about 1/4 of butter and add our hot pears. I'm an author, and I have recipes for wild game and other outdoor foods in my outdoor books. I also have a business book for the times, Create Your Own Job Security. In this book, I tell you how to start your own businesses anytime, anywhere, any place, at any age, when you need to raise a little money, like perhaps right now, and show you how to choose what that appropriate business ought to be. My newest work is a novel in progress, and that is also a screenplay and a movie to be, perhaps, and that is Father of the Grooms. During the course of writing that book, I went to Sicily, and I also have comments about Sicilian foods worked in the book. And cinnamon. I pour it in the hand at first because this has a tendency to clump, and I don't want a great clump in there. Cumin. Now we did a teaspoon of cinnamon and about a quarter teaspoon of cumin. And a teaspoon of nutmeg. And you're going to add a little synthetic sweetener to it. Otherwise, that would be a cup and a half of sugar. All right, that's plenty sweet. At this stage, we have pear sauce, which can be frozen and eaten just as it is. I'm going to take some out to taste, and we'll see how we did. Definitely taste the butter. I'm going to add a little more cinnamon. And a touch more nutmeg. You can see how this nutmeg wants to clump badly. Alright, so this is the pear sauce stage. Now we've added 3 of the medium eggs, and we're going to mix these in here. But at this stage, there'll be no more tasting until the eggs are cooked. This just gets set in the refrigerator until we finish with our dough. We now have our ball of dough floured, and we're going to separate it into 2 parts. Now that's going to go in the bottom of a frying pan. In said frying pan. Okay. That first dough is in a frying pan on the stove, and I have an electric stove, and it's set at low heat. A 3 on this particular stove. Now what that means in any other stove in the world, I have no earthly notion. And now we'll add the filling. Meanwhile, on the stove, we have three things going. The dough that I put in the frying pan earlier has been flipped, and you can see it. It broke apart during the flipping, but that makes no matter because it's going to be diced up and mixed in with the pie filling anyway. And we have the excess dough now being cooked in that square frying pan. And that's ultimately going to be frozen. And now we're going to add our filling to this hot bread and dice it all up together. You can go ahead and just pour the rest over the top and spread it out. To keep the bottom of that pan from burning, I've gone ahead and stirred it during the cooking process. Since it's broken up anyway, that's not going to make any difference from the aesthetics point of view. Well, how did we do? This first pan here is ready. I'm going to put a little milk on it. Now you could add other things. You could have done a baked sweet potato and baked the sweet potato and put the sweet potato meat in something like this, or made it straight out of sweet potatoes. You could have added nuts. You could have added raisins. You could have added dates. So there are many ways you can change up this recipe and come up with a good result. Well, this is a good but not overly sweet cobbler. I think most people would like it with a dash of maple syrup. But it's certainly a passable product and something that would do well in a hunt camp. But now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe, goodbye, God bless, and see you next time. Of the three things attempted, the mixed crust and filling pie was a success. The pear water tea did very well, but the pie cooked in the crust failed. The crust burned before the filling was done. To solve this problem, cook the crust in the pan over low heat and then boil the pie mixture in a separate pan until it thickens and add it to the crust and allow it to cool. To make this a one-pot meal, put a little cheese on top of it. For more information on my books, blogs, and more than 850 videos, go to my website, www.hoveysmith.com. To find out how you can start your own mini businesses or business and raise money today, buy my book or ebook, Create Your Own Job Security, on Amazon.com or the online or storefront booksellers. To discover more about my new novel, screenplay, and movie project, go to fatherofthegrooms.net. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless.